Hey, YouTubers and friends, how you doing out there? Totally radically awesome, I hope. I'm doing really good. We have an awesome return guest with us. He's been growing so much on YouTube. I'm super stoked for the man. Chris Ralph, author, associate editor at International California Mining Journal, and just all in all, a really good guy, very interesting. If you're not subscribed to him, the link's in the description below. Do yourself a favor, hit it. But, you know, don't go away, because we'll be right back with Toledo Jess, Dano, Chris, and myself right after this. All right, welcome back. Okay, Dano beat me to it. I was about ready to say, unmute, Dano.
No, you had us all unmuted.
You unmuted us all.
Yeah, on my end, it said Dano was still muted. So,
it was. I fought you just a minute.
Hey, Dano.
Hey, Jesse.
Hey, Ed.
Hi, Jesse. How you doing,
Hey, Chris.
brother?
Chris, how are you, sir?
Hey, there's everybody out in the chat room. W.Y. Gold's out there. How you doing? Patrick Moore's out there.
I think Chris froze on us.
Yeah. I saw my sister.
Yep, she's in there.
Karen.
This Jerry Willard dude, he must have kidnapped Mr. Lodak. I don't know what's going on here.
I heard he buried him.
Oh, yeah. Put a lime on him so to break him down, keep him.
Buried Mr. Lodak in a shallow grave in Utah.
Probably in somebody's basement.
Well, our guest froze up, so.
Oh no!
I guess I shouldn't have said that. I better.
You did it. All Ed's fault.
I better add a quarter. But it isn't on my end. Hi, Amy, part-time detector.
You had to say something, didn't you? You just had to.
John.
I'll just continue to say hi to the rest of the people that are in here.
W.
Randy, Scotty, Tony, how's it going tonight, buddy?
D&D.
Part-time detector dropped in.
Yep. Teddy C.
Tom Sawyer and
Aaron,
Donald.
how you doing? I got your package. Thank you, sir. Ooh, I was going to show it too.
Aaron.
But it looks like Ed's.
But it looks like
I'm sure Dano's looked like Ed's too.
Yeah, mine looked like Ed's too.
Looked like mine.
Bob Ditt, what's up, buddy? Tazzy Adventures is in the house. Patrick Moore.
Hi, Brad, welcome. You're back.
Oh, I hear a voice. There he is.
Modern technology.
Yeah, everything's great while we're just sitting around
talking
for 20 minutes or half an hour.
It's
as soon as the show starts,
it's all Ed's fault.
Ed's
he
fault.
said that word, and he's not supposed to say it. What's up, Tom Sawyer TV? How you doing tonight?
Oh, my quarter missed the thing. I put more quarters in the Urfy jar.
Yeah, I'm just trying to continue the conversation while he's D&D Beach Bandits. Ooh.
Welcome, 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 everybody. All 26 of you. Get this shared out. Hit that thumbs up. Because see this right here, this awesome book right here. One lucky person out there just maybe getting one in the mail. It's quite the encyclopedia, but you know what? If you're not here, it ain't gonna be you.
Me and Jesse are allowed in on this, right?
Maybe.
I guess that let's let the chat say yes or no.
No guessing numbers, Yukon Cornelius.
And we're not doing it right now, anyways.
It's
Right. Right.
Hey, Jerry's in here. What's up, Jerry?
Oh yeah.
California Motherlode Prospectors.
Yeah, Terry. Check out his videos. He does some awesome videos also.
He does some real awesome videos.
I like Jerry's stuff.
Yep.
I can't wait till we get out there and get to go prospecting with those guys.
Yes, sir. Working on it.
Oh, and Tom Sawyer just got an AT gold.
Cool.
Nice. And Garrett's a good machine. How many detectors do you own, Chris?
8.
8.
Wow.
And all but one of them are gold machines.
I have one.
Yeah, but yours is a good detector.
My wife complains about the number that I have.
Yeah, I have.
And I've got accessory coils for most of them, almost all of them.
Flower Gold Wizards, how are you tonight? Guess what, Ed?
What?
Sounds like my neighbor decided to cut the grass at this time.
Oh,
right?
well.
Can you hear him?
No.
Oh, good.
That's good. Hey,
So
Jason.
Discharge your firearm a couple times and he'll quit.
Nugget Brain Wayne Peterson's in the house, along with
Wayne.
Yeti
Hey,
Mountain
Wayne, I haven't
Trains in the
seen you
house.
for years.
The hell?
Jesse getting text
He always
messages.
stops in.
Oh yeah, he comes in almost every show. Definitely. Hey, HD Shovelhead, how you
Yeah,
doing?
there, Ed. How you doing tonight?
And Teddy C is up in Vermont trying to get some of that New England color. Welcome, everybody. I'm not seeing the birthday girl yet. Hi, part-time detector Amy. How are you? Aaron, it's good to see you here. Thanks for showing up. Right on.
So, Ed, why don't you introduce our guests and let them talk?
I'm wondering why I see. My brother says I see, and Joey thought I was bad. Must be because I'm wearing his hat. Hi, everybody. Well, please give a warm welcome for our return visitor, Mr. Chris Ralph.
Hey, thanks.
But they probably don't know him as a return visitor because when we had him on, we couldn't go live.
Well,
I actually did the show one time before that.
That's right. And the time we did that pre-recorded makeup one was his return one. Right. And if they looked at the thumbnail, they would have saw return guest. Should have read the thumbnail, Jesse.
You want me to read too?
I know, I ask a lot, don't I, brother? Oh, gee whiz. You've been putting out a lot of interesting stuff, Chris. I just watched a really good video of yours on recognizing silver ores. I believe that's pretty much the title.
That's my latest one, but I got a whole slew of ones in the pipeline that I'm working on and, making progress. So I'll have another 6 or 8 out in the next month or so.
Oh no, Ed, the number of detectors. Okay.
Yeah, I think I told you the one time you were on before, didn't we talk about the silver mill that I worked at?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was that same area for the turquoise. That's where I was working.
Right.
So you got you were talking about you're getting your turquoise mine claim together.
Well, it's just paying the annual fees. They have the small miners exemption, which I've always used until now. And then for several reasons, I'm switching over to going ahead and paying the BLM annual fee rather than.
Dude, that's for anything under 10 claims still, right?
Right. 10 or fewer claims, you can do the small miners thing. And I only have 3 turquoise claims total, 2 near Austin and 1 near Tonopah. But for a couple of reasons, I've decided to go to just paying the fees. I'm hoping to have a lot more than 10 by the end of 2020.
Does it benefit you more going that way than using the small miners?
Well, you're limited to 10. So if you want to file on something that's going to take 20 claims, you can't use the 10.
Right.
And you can't just use 10 on the small miners and then the other 10 or 15 pay the fee. You have to have total no more than 10.
So it's a total.
So if you're going to have more than 10, then you've got to pay the fee. So it's going to end up that I have more than 10 here in the coming months. And so I just went ahead and switched to paying the fee.
So are these turquoise mines that you operate, or are they just your claim?
They're places that I go out and dig periodically a couple times a year.
Yeah.
One of them is an underground mine that's not really open. I mean, I could dig out some of the workings and try to crawl in there, but it's kind of scary.
Right.
Just digging.
Yeah, that's probably not. I haven't been out there. It's probably not something you just want to get into haphazardly.
No.
If you open one of those up, you really need to know what you're doing.
The other one's a pit, and the pit is probably, more than a football field wide and maybe 3 football fields long.
Oh, nice.
It's a big pit.
So is there a lot of exposed turquoise in it?
Yeah, most of the turquoise that's still in the pit though is what they call paint. It's stuff
Right,
that's
just
it's
surface.
turquoise, but it's as thin as a layer of paint.
Right.
But there's some really good turquoise at both of those places. You just have to kind of dig and scratch around, and there's some good stuff there.
Does
I
turquoise
found some nice turquoise just on the surface, walking around out there in Nevada, in that area.
In the places where they work the mines, though, the original operators picked up everything that was just laying on the surface.
Right. I mean, the stuff that I found is, like small, little pieces, but it's got little red matrix in it. It's got some pieces with black, and I even found a piece of white, which is really cool. But it's just all really small pieces.
Sure.
Yeah, along with arrowheads and.
I got some that a couple of them that are like the size of a grapefruit.
Oh, nice. So my wife says that she was surprised that there's still a market for turquoise.
There was a huge market in the 70s,
right,
60s, and it was super popular. And
right,
they were mining turquoise all over Nevada and Arizona and elsewhere in the West. And then the market just crashed because basically a lot of operators started coming out with cheap plastic imitation junk, and it was a fad, you know. I mean, like a lot of fashion. Oh, this is in this year, but a
Right.
couple years from now, oh, that's really out. You know, you don't want to wear that stuff. So it's starting to come back in, though. There's more people that are, you know, there's more fashion that you see that's using turquoise and stuff. So it's not like it was in the 60s or 70s, but it's coming back in.
Probably won't ever come back like it did back then.
Not in our lifetimes.
No. Yeah. Oh, I know my wife still loves it. She still loves the turquoise,
Yeah.
you know.
I don't have any. It's my favorite stone.
Yeah, it's her favorite stone. She doesn't have any other than the raw that I have. You know.
Sure.
Now, Chris, turquoise, that forms sort of like a flowstone does, don't it?
It's a secondary mineral, so it forms by the effect of weathering and stuff on the rock.
Okay.
So literally, the rock where it forms has to have a little bit of copper in it, has to have some aluminum, which is pretty common, and then it has to have phosphate. And you get the copper and a little bit of aluminum and phosphate together, and when it dries out, it's turquoise. That's why you see turquoise form in desert areas, more or less, and not in areas, even if there's copper and phosphate and stuff. If it's a rainy, forested, or, you know, kind of an area that gets a lot of rainfall.
Does it let it dry right?
Yeah, it has to dry in order to form.
Right.
So it's basically, you know, water dissolving this stuff out of rocks and then drying, and dissolving some more out of the rock and then drying, and dissolving, and so on and so forth for a long, long time until there's turquoise forming. That's why it forms in cracks and stuff.
So they'll never find any in Western Washington, I take it.
No, you're not going to find it in Washington. You're not going to find it even on the eastern seaboard where there's, you know, pretty good amount of rain.
Right.
But is there any like turquoise up in the more arid parts of like Oregon and Washington or into Idaho?
I don't. There's not much any, or not any that I know of up there, simply because the geology is wrong. It's dry enough up there, but the geology is wrong. Honestly, Nevada has the most different turquoise prospects and mines of any state in the union. Arizona produces a lot, but it has a fewer number of mines and prospects. But Arizona certainly has a lot of copper, and it's dry enough in Arizona.
Nevada has a lot of different colors of turquoise also.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it runs the gambit of colors.
Yeah, blues and greens, and
Right. And also with the matrix in it, you got red matrix and black, gold colored matrix.
Yeah, there is gold colored matrix in some turquoise. It's not real gold.
But it's not gold.
Yeah, it's not metallic gold. It's limonite.
Right. But it looks like gold. I've seen it.
Yeah, I've seen pictures and pieces of it where it almost looks metallic, you know.
Right.
It's the right color.
I personally like the red and the black matrix.
Sure.
You know, those are, especially the red.
Yeah, no, they're all different colors, including stones that run, you know, within the same stone. It goes from blue to green.
Right.
You get both in the same stone, and then it bleeds one into the other.
Interesting stone.
It is an interesting stuff. That's why I picked up a few claims years ago and then have kept them.
No, I'm sure there isn't any, Brian. Brian says no turquoise in Maine. Or is there? Or is he just saying? Or is he just saying that? Yeah, it's too wet, right?
Yeah, like where are the deserts in Maine?
Yeah, like nowhere.
Forests in Maine, deserts.
Yeah. That's probably
there's some in western Colorado here, Wayne Peterson says.
Yeah, there's a little bit in western Colorado. It's dry enough that it's there.
Yeah, I would think more like New Mexico,
Yeah, New Mexico's famous for it.
Arizona,
Yep.
the Mojave in California,
Yep.
maybe.
Yeah, there's some
Um,
in California.
your
in the
neck of the
desert.
woods in Nevada, and
Yep.
so
I
that's
think there may
it.
be a little tiny bit in Utah too, because there's some deserty areas in Utah.
Now I'm sure Jaron Wheeler will say there's none in Utah. There's not even gold in Utah.
I find people that disagree with that.
Oh, we know. We
Well,
disagree with them all the time.
We consider Jaron Wheeler an expert on Utah.
Yeah.
If he says there's no gold in Utah, then we believe him.
Jesse believes him. I don't. I know better. I've read the articles.
I've seen his videos.
Yeah, that too.
He's our basement digging gold miner.
Digs
Digs out foundations and finds gold.
He pours foundation walls and digs out foundations. So whenever he sees river rocks and stuff, he'll do some sampling, take his gold cube on the job site and run some material, find some gold.
There's a great story from Virginia City of after really the big days of mining were winding down, that a guy who was up there in the town, up on the northern part of town, decided he was going to remodel and expand his basement. And he got into some real high grade ore and started hauling it out at night down to a mill. Took out, I don't know, $5,000 or $10,000 worth of ore until he finally was caught. Because he didn't have the mineral rights, you know.
Right.
So he was high grading then, huh?
He was high grading.
Doggone. Now, high grading technically would be a form of claim jumping, right?
Yep.
Doggone claim jumpers. Back in the day,
But
they
there
would
was
have
no
hung
claim.
you.
If there's no claim, then it's not claim jumping.
True,
right?
true.
So
Okay. Was it protected or
you still
non-mineral
don't have the
entry?
mineral rights from the state.
Yeah.
No, the one up at Virginia City was on one of the old, well-known. It was on the Ophir, which is one of the well-known producers. In fact, it was the site of the first discovery on the surface there.
So it was high grading.
Right.
Yeah, oh yeah.
It
No,
wasn't
it definitely
claim
was
jumping.
high grading it. It just was some little parallel seam, you know, that was parallel to the main deposit.
Doggone guys. Matt's in the house, PG Prospecting, and Chris, King Prospector. And I'd like to say thank you very much to Professor Nez for the $4.99 super chat. Thank you very much, sir.
David Carlisle, how are you today? I saw somebody else too a minute ago.
Pioneer Polly's in the house, or he was.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I've been watching his videos.
I like the stuff Pioneer Polly puts out, and he's been really going at it hard, sniping lately.
And our two favorite dudes.
That's right. Oh, yeah. Audra and Rach.
History hunters are in the house.
They're totally awesome dudes. Even though they're not dudes. But
no, they're not. But
they're dudes.
Hey, dude. Hey, dude. And Dwight Wooten, how are you tonight?
Yeah, I've seen some of your pictures, Matt. You've been doing really good with your detector in Virginia. He's pulling out some nice Virginia nuggets, Chris.
Oh, I'll have to check out his videos.
Well, gee whiz, Bob Dip, they're behind like a half an hour. Bob Dip just got notified that Flashing Your Pins live. Oh, gotta love Yahoo. I mean, YouTube, huh?
But he's been on for a while.
Yeah, I know. Well, because he's a regular and he knows.
Yeah, but I mean, wait a minute.
He
Do you still get a
knows.
notification if you're already on it?
Apparently.
No. Only a half hour late though,
Yeah.
huh? I'm sorry, Chris. We just get off on these weird sidetracks. It happens.
Rein him back in, rein him back in.
Okay.
Chris is no virgin to the show. He knows how we go.
No, I like this show.
Thank
I
you
like it,
very
guys.
much.
It's good to spend a little time BSing with you.
Well, it's fun. We have fun doing it.
It's actually my favorite time of the week is right here, right now with all of you and you guys. You know, our guests, and it's I
Hey,
I
Whoopi's in
love
the
it.
house.
And thank you very much, Chris. Means a lot.
Yeah. Hey, you mentioned the magazine briefly, you know, when you were introducing me, and sometime in the near future, I'm not sure it'll be this month or probably next month, we're going to have an article on Midwest Gold
Oh, cool.
from a guy who he's in Nevada now. He's a friend of mine, but he spent a long time prospecting around the Midwest. He lived in Indiana for a couple of years.
Oh, Chuck Lassiter?
No, Alex Dolbear.
Oh, okay. I
You'll
know.
see, Alex writes some articles. He has some claims up at Virginia City, and so
When you said he used to live in Indiana, I automatically thought of Chuck Lassiter. I know he's written a couple. I've read a couple of his articles in California Mining Journal.
right. No,
Yeah.
I'd love to have anything he wants to contribute.
Dano, you a writer? You could write something and send it off to Chris.
Sure. Hey, I'm interested in anybody who's got experience. Like you mentioned, Pioneer Polly. I'd love to have him do an article or two for us. That'd be awesome.
Hear that, Paulie? Yeah, buddy. Yeah,
I bet Jerry could do one too.
Yeah.
Terry Carter.
No, Jerry.
Oh, Jerry. Oh, yeah.
Jerry. I bet Jerry could do a good article.
Jerry did a real good article, I bet.
I bet. What do you think, Jerry?
I'm sure he could. I'm sure he
Hey,
could.
I'm always recruiting for people who, you know, have an interest with that. You know, we love hearing people's stories and experiences, and you know, the whole 9 yards, how they're doing, what they've learned over the years, that kind of thing. That's what our readers want to see, and hey, I want to see it too. So,
Well,
Right, it's like you know, coming on here and talking about your experiences.
Yeah.
You know,
yep, nope. So anybody that you know has an interest in it, feel free to shoot me an email. You know, if you don't have my email some other way, you can log on to ICMJ.com and look under staff and find Chris Ralph and send me an email.
and there
If you have a copy of the magazine, my email's at the end of every article I write.
there you go, Matt. PG Prospecting. He says, International California Mining Journal is a great magazine. Much agreed. I love reading it. You guys need some articles on Virginia gold. I guess.
I'd love to have that.
I guess maybe I should write some. There you go, Matt.
Yeah, no, it's not that we don't want articles on the Midwest or the East. I mean, give me a break. I'd love to have that kind of stuff.
Well, I'm
The
sure
problem
you
is
just
I'm
don't
in
have
Nevada.
the writers submitting them.
Yeah, exactly.
Probably the problem.
You know, for me to write about Virginia would be kind of lame because I've never prospected in Virginia.
Right.
So like I write about Nevada and California and Arizona and places I've been, Alaska, because I've been there.
you go, Brian. Brian too. He can write about his adventures in Maine and on the East Coast.
That's right.
No, Maine, I've seen some of that Maine gold. That's impressive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is. Definitely. See, so all of you could end up being actually a column. Never know. You might become a published author. And just got to put it out there. Right, Chris?
Absolutely, absolutely. Just send me an email. Happy to talk to anybody. It's a good deal. And we do pay people for writing articles. It's not, you're not
Oh,
gonna
money.
pay $1 zillion.
No,
We
right.
do pay for our articles.
You pay for them, huh? That's
You
interesting.
bet you.
Cool.
Nice.
You bring a little bit of your gasoline cost.
Yeah, for ink. Oh wait, we don't use ink anymore, do we? It's all electronic.
The magazine.
Yeah.
So, and we kind of touched on this earlier too about your magazine, or actually, we want to talk to you about your book.
Yeah.
Oh,
You have
yeah.
a book. Is
Hey,
this-
and Ed, have you said that we're going to give away a copy of the book?
Well, I believe we talked a little about that last night, right?
Yep.
Chris has. I kind of probed him a little. Hey, and
Hold off on the probing.
Yeah, wait a minute. You probed him?
Duties and Pete said,
Come on, I should have known Dano would have took that left hand. Left hand turn. U-turn. Okay, back on course.
Back on the road.
No, Chris being such a gracious man that he is, I brought it up to him in private chat. And he's like, yeah, he could do that. And I'm like super stoked about it. You all will enjoy this book. Whoever may win it, because we don't know yet, of course.
Yeah, however you want to arrange that.
Yeah.
Just when time comes, send me a name and address and all that, and I'll autograph the book and send it off to whoever that is.
It's like he says in his videos, it's more of an encyclopedia. It's like the Encyclopedia Britannia for gold prospecting. It's really good reading, really easy reading, nice, good font for old guys like me who have bad eyes. So
so it's big print.
Well,
well, it ain't like super big print, but it isn't like fine print. It's easy reading. One day I might let you read it, Dano.
Dano asked earlier if we were eligible.
Yeah.
We put it to the chat room, and I said, "Are we eligible? Yes or no?"
They never voted.
Absolutely no response whatsoever.
I saw absolutely
Can't believe
none.
they'd be that cold to us.
I know.
See how they are, and they're still guessing numbers, which, what the heck? Show the picture.
Show the picture, Ed. You got a picture, Ed.
Which picture?
You just got on somewhere. Donald sent you a picture.
Well, it isn't what you got tonight, is it?
I don't know. Better look at it first.
Yeah, I might have to. You think I'm just gonna open up and let the world see it without
Well,
seeing
if it's
it
a picture
first?
you sent me, it's okay.
Oh my goodness. Which email is that? I have too many emails. Oh, for Jesse's wife. Ooh, pretty. I will show that. But I gotta bring it over here. I'm gonna turn this off for a second, my display, and show the chat for a second, guys. Because there's sensitive information that
Sensitive, huh?
doggone it, I
Oh,
forgot.
you almost had it.
I didn't transition my scene anyway, so it don't matter. They saw it all. Even if they saw sensitive stuff, they still saw it all. But there's those for your wife, Jesse.
Yep,
You'll have
yeah,
to
cool.
send him your address.
I will.
Do you have the show up at all, Chris?
No, I don't. I just have, I mean, you saw earlier I was losing bandwidth just trying to have the
True,
basics,
true.
you know. Zoom.
Yeah.
Honey, turn
I'm
off
not
the
taking any
TV.
chances, no chances.
Turn off the TV, all the
Yeah,
cell phones.
exactly.
Kids, put those devices away.
Yeah, shut off those cell phones.
That's cool. That's
Very
cool.
nice.
Nice, Donald. Nice.
Thank you. I have to get him wire rack or something.
Teddy C said he said yes. I presume that's about you guys being eligible.
And of course, James Van Cleef goes, Jess and Daniel, stop being so cheap and buy one.
Just Jim did. James did. He
Well,
bought his, and
I'm retired on a fixed income.
I believe his is autographed too. Oh, you're gonna hear the same song and dance from my brother Jim. He's retired and on a fixed income too. He's also a vet, so nah.
Yeah.
Me.
Oh my goodness. Now back to our guest. Jeez.
Hey,
Oh my goodness, sakes alive. So what does your near future look like for your YouTube channel, Chris?
the couple of soonest videos I'm coming out with is one on how to process black sands easily, and I've got a sample of some concentrates from some dry washing that I did, which should be pretty easy to, clean up and turn into clean gold. But then I got a guy, his name is Rob Roy, and he has a channel called Washington Beach Mining, a YouTube channel.
Oh, I know it, yeah.
He did an article for us a couple months ago about beach mining in Washington, right? Well, he sent me some of his cons, like I think it's about half pound of cons, and then he put a quarter ounce exactly of gold, not quarter ounce, sorry, quarter of a gram of gold into the concentrates. And his challenge to me is to go through the cons and get at least a quarter of a gram out of them. So I'm going to do that on the video, and I'm going to try my technique. And of course, with something like that, the tailings I'm not going to throw away until I know I've gotten it pretty much clean.
Right.
What's your technique?
I'm going to give it my normal way of doing it and see how it comes out.
Do you roast your black sands before you?
No. These are just, it's just magnetite. It's iron oxides and stuff. It's not concentrates from hard rock. Concentrates from hard rock, yeah, you want to probably roast that.
Okay.
But it's just from placer mining. The dry washing stuff, I mean, there's a little bit of oxidized pyrite in that from just that's in the ground there where I was dry washing, but it's not what's holding most of the gold. Most of the gold's just free particles of.
Right. So do you use you do it without mercury, or are you gonna use?
Without mercury, and I'm talking about that in the video. I used to use mercury. In fact, I got a little thing using the video of some amalgam that I did some years back, and I had saved up a bunch of stuff from dredging and panning and stuff that way back in the day when dredging was legal in California.
Right.
And I used to go where I'd clean it up as much as I could, get all the pieces out I could easily, and then there's a little kind of dust in the black sand, and I just throw that all in a jar. The jar had a couple tablespoons of mercury in it, and I did that every year for
So you're painting it, right?
years or more. And finally, I took the stuff and mixed it around and everything, and then separated out the mercury, and then cleaned the amalgam out of the mercury and actually got about a half ounce of gold out of it. But that's, doing mercury these days, God, if you get caught with mercury, most prospecting stores don't even sell it anymore.
Yeah, it's hard.
So my recommendation for prospectors, I mean, it works. It sure does. And if you're really safe and you know what you're doing, it's really not that bad a deal. But for new guys, I'd say just get some magnets. When I was a kid, we didn't have these neodymium or what they are, rare earth magnets that are
Right.
super powerful.
Right.
So what I do in the process is a combination of panning, and then I have like a weak magnet that's from an old speaker, and then I have some medium strong magnets, and then I have a super duper strong magnet. So I kind of go through and clean out to try and the most magnetic stuff will stick to the weak magnet. And the whole point is to try and get the black sand magnetics out without sucking up a bunch of gold with it. And it works pretty good. I'm going to demonstrate the process on the video. And
Dude.
then, I've got several others that I'm working on. I got one on how to build a recirculating sluice box. Basically turn my old Keen A51, I think is what the number is, A52.
Right.
Sluice box into a recirculator, and a couple other projects like that. And then when the weather turns cold and I'm not going out in the field as much, I've got some extraction videos we're going to do, how to extract gold from quartz. I got some samples that I picked up that have gold in them. I picked up with my metal detector. And then I've got a sack of material that I took from a gold mine in Nevada, where we got a signal in the vein in the wall of the mine. And rather than try and dig out one or two little pieces that have the gold in it, I just took the whole.
Grab it off.
Yeah, I grabbed the whole thing until the
Fill
area
that
was
bucket up.
clean and didn't give a signal. It's only like 5 or 10 pounds, so we're not talking huge amounts of material. So anyway, those are coming up. How to make gold.
How to make gold.
Nice, nice. And how many more on the Fisher Goldbug Pro are you gonna do?
Honestly, that was the one and only one I was going to do on the Fisher Goldbug Pro. You think I ought to do more?
I'm gonna have to watch it more.
Okay, well, I'll maybe look into doing some more of those. I was going to do kind of like one on several, because I told you I got 8 detectors. I'm gonna do
Right.
one on all of them. So, the Goldbug Pro is one of the detectors I have, but I was going to do one on the Gold Monster. Those ones from a couple of years ago are all on the Gold Monster, but I was going to do one, just take it out in the field and find some gold with it and kind of run through some suggestions and thoughts, and do the same thing with the other mine labs and the other fishers and stuff that I have. I have a gold bug too. And so we'll, get a bunch of those that way. Just do a demonstration and review.
Matt from Virginia, PG Prospecting here on YouTube, Chris, he said a guy found an ounce specie last weekend in Virginia with the Goldbug Pro.
There you go. No, it's a good detector. I definitely think highly of it. I found gold with it. And in that video, I tell a little story about how I kind of started a gold rush in Africa.
Right.
Pro. It was kind of funny because they took us out to this field, and they didn't tell us that gold had been found in the field. And I didn't know that. You could see the stumps of the corn stalks, and there was an old bull off in the corner that was kind of just meandering around. And there was a surprising amount of trash. Like, we're in the middle of nowhere, and there's in a field in the middle of total nowhere, and there's trash in the field, old rusty iron junk. So went along, and pretty soon I got one that indicated it wasn't junk, and dug down. It was a 3 pennyweight specimen that had nice gold in it. And
Nice.
I called everybody over, and it was an exciting thing. And then one of the local guys, because we brought extra detectors for locals to try it out, one of the local guys used one and found a half ouncer, and then everything just went
nuts. Crazy.
And the rush was on.
Yeah, no, we had to leave not long after that because we had like a schedule of places we needed to be at certain times. And when we were out in the middle of nowhere, And so as we were going out, there was all these guys riding their motorcycles going in, and they've got their metal detectors strapped to their back. You know, they're heading in there, and we got a call from one of the guys, because like everybody there has cell phones, and even though it's really super poor country, everybody has a cell phone. And we got a call from one of the guys who said they found over 2.5 ounces after we left.
Wow.
Wow.
And then when I went back the second time, one of the guys who was with us on the first trip, who was like a dealer, and he also acted as a translator, he told us that, he said that whole field is just holes everywhere, just craters all dug up. So it was kind of funny.
I'll bet.
So it's a good detector. It really is.
Yeah, and they don't have claims and stuff like that there, do they?
They, you know, it's a weird system,
It's
and it varies from country to country. And you know, you want the rights to someplace, well, go bribe somebody. Yep, exactly.
show me the money.
But you know, a lot of these places that have gold on the surface, like thousands of folks will move in. It's a gold rush, you know, and even if you're, you know, ABC Mining Company and you have the rights to that ground, you can't just throw 10,000 people off your property. So you kind of have to wait until they're done, and then they decide to leave.
Okay.
Maybe you can throw the last 10 guys off the property or something.
Yeah, it'd be a bad thing. You get a whole tribe mob going, you know.
Yeah, no, yeah, it would have been bad.
Where was that again? I know you mentioned
That was
it.
actually in Cote d'Ivoire, in Ivory Coast.
Oh. How many countries around the world has prospecting taken you to so far?
I did, I think, 3 countries in Africa. I've been to Australia. Dang, I've been to Mexico, but I've never really done any serious prospecting in Mexico. There's laws, and if you're going to prospect in Mexico, you want to do it, you know, hidden, so nobody knows. Been to Canada, but never done any prospecting there.
Polly?
So I guess really only 4 or 5. I've been to a lot of different states in Alaska, but really only half dozen or so different countries.
Yeah, I don't think I would want to go to a foreign country and try to circumvent their rules and regulations. I don't know that it'd be worth it. I would either have to do it above board or not do it at all, you know, because not because I wouldn't like the adventure, but I would hate to be thrown in jail overseas somewhere.
Right.
You know.
I have a friend who went meteor hunting in Oman, and he had permission and everything else, but apparently his friends who got the permission didn't bribe the right people, because he got arrested along with the whole rest of all the other people in his group, and they were under house arrest for like 30 days, and he had to pay for the bill while they were all under house arrest. So they couldn't leave. They took their passports. They took all the meteorites they found, and eventually he paid like, I don't know, $70,000 or $80,000 bribe, and they gave him his passports back and let him leave. But they kept all the meteorites and anything of value that he took with him. Basically, they let him leave with his clothes.
They let him leave.
Yeah. So, you know, going to other countries is a little iffy depending on where you're. Now, Australia is no problem. You know, they have rule of law and everything else. But, you know, one of the African countries we went to, the hotel that we stayed at for most of the time, and the restaurant across the street that we ate at most of the time, like I was there in 2014 and 2013, and in 2016, terrorists came in there and shot up the hotel and shot up the restaurant. They killed 20 people at the hotel, and they killed another 10 at the restaurant. And, you know, just came in there with machine guns blazing, you know, spraying bullets everywhere. It was really bad.
That could be quite scary. Rob
Yeah,
C.
so you don't want to do that kind of trip. That's not the kind of prospecting trip you want to go on.
No, when I used growing up in Southern California, I used to go into Baja a lot
Yeah.
surfing, and looking back, I've seen a lot of beaches with rivers coming into them, lagoons, and a lot of places I've traversed over down in Baja. I'm like, that'd be good for gold prospecting, I think. It sure looks good, but like you said, I wouldn't want to end up in a Mexican jail.
No.
No.
And I don't even want to end up in an American jail.
No, yeah, let alone any other one, right?
Yeah.
Now, Rob C in the room, Chris, he brought up a regular gold bug. Do you have just a regular gold bug that you might do a video on in the future?
Like the original gold bug, the one
Yes, sir.
before the gold bug 2.
Yes.
No, I don't. And of course, those have been out of manufacture for 15 years or something like that or more.
So you just might be out of luck there, Rob.
Yeah. I do have a gold bug 2, and I am definitely going to do some videos on the gold bug 2. And I'm going to do one comparing the gold bug 2 and the gold monster 1000, because they're pretty close and there's subtle differences. So I'm going to do kind of a comparison video. A lot of people want to see something like that.
Now, what's the better detector for gold between like the Gold Bug 2 and the Gold Bug Pro?
The gold bug 2 is more sensitive. Okay.
Okay.
Now the trick with the gold bug 2 is it's got manual ground balance. So you have to tweak knobs and keep it ground balanced yourself. Whereas the gold bug Pro, you can just press a button and it will balance itself. It doesn't continually balance itself, but there's that ground grab button that you can
Right.
press, and that will bring everything up to what the ground is at that moment. And then you go along a few minutes later, you can hit the button again and it'll rebalance it, get it back up to where it was.
Okay, cool.
But the gold bug 2 is definitely more sensitive than the gold bug Pro.
So let me ask you this. With me, I can tell differences in different tones, but I can't tell the subtle differences between, like a nickel and a piece of gold, because I guess they read about the same.
Well, they read in the same range. A nickel is roughly the equivalent of like a 1/4 ounce nugget. And I think I said on the GoPro video, it's like, I found 1/4 ounce nuggets before a bunch of times, but not that many of them. They're 1/4 ounce nuggets are pretty rare stuff.
Right.
So, but gold can come in any size, from really small to really big.
But doesn't it have its own specific signal that you should be able to hear?
No, because you can't tell. The problem is you also don't know how deep it is. So
okay.
I found nickels that are pretty deep, and found nickels that scream they're only a 1/2 inch deep.
So if I wanted to try to figure out how I hear specific metals, because like with gold painting, different pans, different people see gold in them differently, the different colors as a background.
Sure.
Because of color blindness and variations of colors, people can see gold better in certain colors. Now, I think that if you were like a singer or someone who could really distinguish different tones because they've been trained, right? How would you test to figure out which would be your gold? I mean, what would be a good test?
I don't think you can tell the difference.
No.
I don't think you can tell the difference between gold and lead or
Oh,
gold
okay.
and other things. Now, iron is a different story because iron has both conductive and magnetic properties, and
Right.
it tends to make a different kind of a noise.
That's a low growling noise.
Well, of
Well,
course,
it also
for that
depends on the
detector, you're-
detector.
To me, right. For me, it's a low growling type noise. You know,
in a detector like the detector you have, they're set up to make gold a low growling noise. But in some of the other gold detectors, if you have it on don't discriminate, it will make a noise that's very subtly different on iron than for what they call a non-ferrous, which would be like gold and lead and brass and other sorts of things like that. So yeah, on detectors where they've got a discrimination system and you've set it, it'll make that grunting, growling noise for iron.
right. That's well, I got a Garrett 350, and
Right.
that's what iron sounds like to me.
Right.
You know,
That's how the detector's made.
right. And then for things like pull tabs and dimes, it's more of a ringing type sound.
Right.
But I can't tell the difference between the two.
Well, someday we got to get you over some little tiny piece of gold.
Oh yeah, I'd love it.
Hear the
I
difference
have a
between,
tiny piece.
a 3-grain
Well, see-
nugget and
well, that's
a nickel.
the basic. That was the basis for my question, because I have a nugget that I could use to try to figure that out. But what would be the best way to test that? Would I bury it? Would I just cover it, or would I do it up in the open air, or does it matter?
My suggestion for test nuggets is you glue it to something like a poker chip. A lot of people use plastic poker chips, but something like that you can glue it to. Otherwise, you get it in the ground, and I've heard stories of people having a decent nugget,
Losing it.
they think they're going to use it as a test nugget, and they bury the nugget, and then they find that the ground is just totally mineralized, and they can't find it, and they've lost their nugget.
Oh man.
So glue it to something like a poker chip or some other similar thing, so that you won't lose it. Then you bury it in the ground. Bury it in the ground.
Bury it in the ground.
Yeah, and then test it like that. Test it down an inch or something like that, and see what you
All
get.
right. Okay. And then again, if I wanted to test my machine even more, I'd bury it deeper. See
Yep.
what my do it in increments.
In fact, one of the ICMJ shows that we did years ago, Scott, who owns the magazine, went around and buried some nuggets. And after the show was over, he said, "Hey, go over there. That's where the nuggets are. Go dig them up." And I got most of them, but he buried a couple of them that were just too deep for a detector to see. They were digging holes around there and trying to find it. And one of them never was found. So you don't want to lose your test nugget.
Okay. There you go. That's a good story, Keith. Keith is just doing a treasure hunt up in Alaska. That would be a good story for your magazine.
There you go.
Well, yeah, the newspaper up there, he buried a treasure chest,
Right.
much like Jeff Williams did, Chris, for people to hunt for up there. And he was just saying that an Anchorage paper is going to write a story about me burying my treasure chest in Alaska. Oh, and will be mentioned as a contributor. Oh, cool. Cool.
Okay.
I sent him a handful of stuff. I should have sent him more. For your next treasure chest, I'll send more. I have a heap load of coins. Heap load. Lots. And I'll throw in some trade tokens too. Maybe tax tokens. I don't like getting rid of my trade tokens. Sorry, Keith. Now, I was just mentioning before the show that you gained over 1,000 subscribers in the past 30 days on your channel. I could see you being up there with Pioneer Polly and Dan Hurd and no time. And
I've been getting 200-300 subscribers a day.
that's
So,
excellent growth.
I'm trying to keep that up. We'll see. I'll post some more videos and see how things go. But I had one video that just kind of exploded on me, and it was kind of funny because I loaded this video up at the beginning of June, and it didn't do that great. It got, I don't know, 500-600 views, and then the number, because you've seen that, the number starts to go down and down and down. And I thought, okay, well, that was a good try. And after a while, I started getting, 5 or 10 views a day, and then 10 or 20, and then 20 or 30, and then 50, and then it just started to skyrocket. And then it was like 100, 200, 500,
Nice.
All on the same video?
on the same
yeah.
video. I mean, I was getting other views on my other videos, true, but not crazy explosive like this one. And it went up. I think it's peaked now, but it peaked at over 40,000 so over 20,000 a day, over 40,000 in 48 hours.
Wow.
It's over 20,000 in a day. Pretty crazy.
No doubt.
I bet. Now, a lot of the creators in here that are in the room now are just going, oh man, I'd love to be getting that kind of growth.
And I didn't, like I say, the initial, when I put the video out, like I say, I got 500-600 views, something like that. Nothing really spectacular. And then for a while, it just didn't get much traffic, a few views a day. And then, like I say, it just started picking up and up and up. And you look at the chart of it on YouTube,
So
and it's like a parabola. It just,
Where do you think it's caused that?
I have no idea. I think somebody picked it up and it got shared, and then it got to be like some sort of snowball effect where one guy shared it, and then 2 guys saw it and they shared it, and then 4 guys saw it and they shared it, and so on and so forth until
like the shampoo
figured, hey,
commercial.
this must be pretty good, and started putting it out.
Well, you get a lot of interaction on your videos, in your comments, a lot of positive interaction with thumbs ups. And I did notice that last one on the turquoise, you had 3 thumbs down, but hey, in my book, 2 thumbs down equals a thumbs up. It's interaction, but on the most part, it's all positive interaction. So YouTube's gonna put you out in suggested videos more and more. Plus, you're not like my channel. I don't really teach nothing, where you actually teach like Jeff Williams does or Dan Hurd, and the algorithm is designed to push those more.
When I go looking for stuff, most of the time I'm looking to, oh, how to do this, or how does that work, or something.
Yeah, that's usually my first 2 words. How to.
Which I kind of got away from my roots too, because that's one thing I was doing in the beginning of my channel when I started taking the channel seriously. It was, my show was In the Shed with Ed, and I took stuff I gleaned off of construction sites and I turned them into like cube bankers, or I'd make my own fluid bed sloughs, or I'd make this a trommel or whatever, a water window, or a suction nozzle for the poor guy out of PVC piping. And it worked, and I liked it, but it's as you know, filming and editing, it takes quite a bit to produce the videos that we do. But when I'd lose track of where I'd be, because I'd have months into a video And a lot of that was just gleaning the stuff I wanted for a particular project without going to the hardware store and buying it. But I'm really happy for you. I know for on a creator's point of view, I know some look like others in their niche as competition. I try not to do that myself.
Yeah, no.
I try to, a single bird has to work a lot harder to get from point A to point B than if you're in like a flock or a gaggle of geese or whatever, right? The each one does their part to help lift the other. And I love my live show because besides having well-established authors and geologists and people like you on and bigger YouTubers like Aquajigger and Jeff Williams and Pioneer Polly on, we also bring in the smaller one. And I don't look at it as competition. I look at us as one big family. If there's already enough trying to divide us, they divide and conquer. If we unite ourselves, we're even more cohesive and stronger. So that's
Yeah,
what I'm
no,
trying to do.
it's not competitive because, if I subscribe to one channel, that doesn't mean that I have to unsubscribe from another one. I mean, I can
Right.
subscribe to Pioneer Polly and Bill Southern and, 5 other guys if I want to. There's no limit. So it's not really like, if you get new subscribers that they go away from me or, vice versa or something like that.
Right.
It's not really competitive. It's just all, growing. I did look at some of the other channels, not to try and imitate them, but to try and maybe put a little bit of a different spin on some of that stuff. Just
Well,
to,
you take someone like me, who I'm more of a viewer than a producer of any kind. I right. I take everything that I see and like learning to pan for gold. A lot of different people have taught me, and I've seen a lot of different methods and techniques for doing it. And what I've done is I've taught myself and taken little bits from each method or technique and incorporate that into my own technique. So when I see YouTube creators out here, that's the same thing I see. Everybody's taking a little bit from here and doing a little bit from there and bringing out their own videos, their
get some
own
ideas.
style, their own techniques, So yeah, you can't look at it as competition. I can't look at anybody that's painting next to me as competition.
Hey, you're getting in my pastry. Get away.
They got their own pan. I got my own pan. It's my job or technique to get the gold out the way I get it out. It's not right or wrong, just the way I do it. The same with video, same with YouTube. Just the way it's what you do, it's your content. There is no real competition. I might watch 4 or 5 different guys in one setting, all doing the same metal detecting, but they all do it a little different. Their videos a little different. Some I can watch, some I can't. So, but it's not. I don't look at it as competition either, as
Yeah,
a viewer.
but you are a viewer. You're not really what I would call a content creator.
Right, that's what I said. I'm a viewer.
Right.
I'm not really a creator, but I liken the creating part to me learning to pan.
Right.
I used a lot of different people's techniques, and that's what I see with creators. They use everybody's techniques, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's the way you learn.
You can learn. You could borrow.
Sure.
But you always want to be yourself too, mostly. You can't totally copy. Can you see like someone like Pioneer Polly, sorry, Polly, Pioneer Polly totally copying Jeff Williams, or Jeff Williams trying to copy Dan Hurd? It wouldn't work. It
Right.
wouldn't fly.
It doesn't.
Right.
But that
You
doesn't
could-
mean
you
that.
could see Pioneer Polly getting on and talking all funny like Jeff Williams does. You
Well,
Jeff has his own kind of shtick that he does.
I could see him doing that definitely, but he wouldn't be trying to like totally imitate him, downright. Actually, that's like creative theft, if you try
That'd be
to.
like Pioneer Polly coming out with a skeleton.
Yeah.
Right,
There you go.
right.
Talking skeleton.
That's been done already. No ideas, Polly.
Right. Yeah.
He might bring out a couple of bats though, or something. He does
See,
play.
that would work for him.
Yeah, well, he plays a lot of vampire roles and stuff when he gets film acting jobs.
Right.
So, hey, but we love Slim too. But doggone it, whenever we got Jeff Williams on, that Slim he wasn't
MIA.
around. Definitely, he must have been out with Lila, because I wanted to get Lila on, because I wanted to poke her brain at her editing and all that, and her producing, and she don't like, she's like Keithy, don't really like being in front of the camera. So we didn't get Slim, we didn't get Lila, but we did get a couple of good shows with Jeff.
Yeah, I got Matt from PG Prospect who's got a question. He wants to know if you prospected the East Coast at all. You feel that there's a lack of prospecting info focused on the East Coast. It's my goal to start working on that.
Hey, that's why I'm begging for people from the East Coast to contact me and talk to me about writing some articles. I love to have some articles from the East Coast. Just all our writers right now, it's a West Coast magazine, and all our writers are based here on the West Coast. But if we get some East Coast guys that contribute regularly, that'd be awesome. I love that. Midwest guys, I'm trying to get some articles on the Midwest. So send me an email, talk to me.
Right, that's something that I've been, learning, because I'm still a greenhorn. I've been learning that depending on where you're at, the type of prospecting you do is different.
Yeah, I agree.
It's different. So it's really cool being able to talk to people from other parts of the country and other parts of the world also, and hear about the way they prospect for gold, the types of tools they use. So that's always a fun part of this, what we're doing here.
Matt, PG Prospecting from Virginia, he said, I'll shoot you an email, Chris. So,
great. Love
it. Aaron from GTAO Vlogs, he's from the Inland Empire of Southern California, and the prospects a lot in the Mojave.
I grew up in Southern California.
Okay, well, he's out where it's heaven, but it's hotter than hell.
Yeah, I know the space well.
Okay. He's like, any thoughts from Chris on free milling placer silver locations in California, Arizona, and Nevada? Thank you. Well, he said thanks, but
Now, placer silver is just not, something. Free milling vein type silver does exist, and there is a little tiny bit of placer silver in Arizona, but not much. It's mostly associated with veins. So you have silver veins, and the metallic silver forms as a secondary mineral, like we talked about with the turquoise. It forms as a result of weathering and exposure to the elements. And so you get this native silver forming up in the top of the vein systems. And there are people who do prospect around. On that silver video, there's a picture of the infamous gold or silver dog. The silver dog nugget, a guy found that, I don't know, about a decade ago, more or less.
Yeah, that's a nice nugget.
It's a 19-pound nugget. It's almost 20 pounds silver nugget. It's weird because it really is kind of shaped like a dog, but it doesn't have the twisted wires that some of the other top-notch silver specimens have.
Yeah, some of those look like trees and
roots and other
right.
weird things.
That is an interesting nugget though, but boy, was it an ugly dog, you know.
Yeah.
More
like a cartoon kind of thing.
Yeah, that's your latest video, I believe, right?
Yes, that's the most current video.
Yeah. It's on silver ores. How to identify silver ores.
Yep.
Yep. The one that blew up, the one that we were talking about, that it's now got like over 100,000 views, is the equivalent one on how to identify gold ores.
Oh, there you go.
That's the one that blew up.
Well, you think since gold's over 1,500 an ounce now, that might have a good.
I think that's part of it. I mean, gold's now pushing 1,550.
Don't worry, it wasn't an explosion.
It sounded like your dog.
Well, first there was Ruby's mod fell, and then the dog jumped.
That's right, HD crash.
Crash. And then she did her famous Scooby-Doo run.
Sorry.
Let's see, have you ever had any luck prospecting in or around Holmes Silver, Nevada? What's your take on that area?
On what? What's Nevada?
Holmes Silver?
Horn silver.
Horn
Silver.
Horn
Oh,
silver.
horn silver. Yeah. No, horn silver. No, I've not. I know where the area is, but I've not prospected really much around there. Nevada's a big place. Most of the gold I've gotten in Nevada have been more in the northern part of the state. Although I have gotten some in the central part. Most of the stuff I've gotten central part has been from prospecting old hard rock prospects.
Yeah, that question was from Wyoming Gold, Melody Detecting Adventures.
Yeah.
Gold Point.
Yeah, tell everybody to feel free to ask questions because I'm
sure.
happy to answer them.
So Jared says silver is trading at 18.29 today.
Yeah, it was up over 3% today.
Right, gold is up at 15.42.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Pushing 1550.
Sure is.
Which is dang, that's a really good price. There ought to be, if it stays there definitely will be more interest in gold that'll be generated.
Oh,
yeah, O'Keefe's saying time to cash in at 3.5 ounces.
You never know, though. I mean, I've had.
I think I
gold ran up the last time when it ran up like from 2003 to 2010 or 11, something like that. I knew guys that cashed out when it was like 600 and thought, yeah, I'm cutting a fat hog. I'm getting some real good money for my gold. And then it just kept on rising, and pretty soon it was pushing 2,000.
Well, you got to remember too, that gold they had and were willing to sell it at that price was probably because when they got it, it was only at 3.
Yeah, exactly.
3.25 or somewhere around there. So to them it was definitely a.
So they're thinking, I got 600, I'm doubling the money.
Exactly. Had they waited another 6 months,
a little bit more and doubled it again.
Right.
Yeah, they could have hung on a little bit more and doubled it again.
Right. They would have. Yeah, they would have done because they got up to over 18. a while, so yeah,
Tassie Adventures,
I saw
Brad.
that.
Sold gold sounds better in Australia dollars at 2020 2290.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's over 2,000 in Canadian dollars too.
but what I don't like is how they kind of screw you in the Troy thing. You know, a Troy ounce is a little what, over 31,
Yeah.
31
31 point something.
grams, and a regular ounce is like 16. So someone in the market had it. they're
No,
like, let's make them
regular ounce
Troy.
is 28 grams.
28 grams, yeah, whatever. You know what I meant.
Yeah. That's what I mean.
16, yeah. So,
But they lose in pounds because there's only 12 Troy ounces in a pound, but there's 16 regular ounces.
ounces in a
So
pound.
a pound of hamburger weighs more than a pound of gold.
Well, that
Okay.
sucks.
Okay.
But an ounce of gold weighs more than an ounce of hamburger.
That sounds like a trick question to me. What weighs more, a pound of hamburger?
I never knew the
Or a
weight
pound
of
of
a
gold.
Troy pound. Never had
Yeah,
that much to
it's
weigh.
only 12 Troy ounces in a Troy pound.
Okay.
Yeah, but wait, there's 31 Troy grams
In a Troy ounce.
in a Troy ounce. I think it probably equals out. I don't know.
I don't know. Math was never my suit. History, I always loved history. Brian said he never sold any gold.
Well, don't sell it now. Hang on for a little while because it's going up.
Gold's going up, the dollar's going down. Take care, Aaron.
Good night, Aaron. Have a good night.
Good night, Aaron.
Well, we're almost to an hour and a half of the show.
Yep.
Why don't we give away that fistful of gold copy?
Now that everybody's left, right? No.
We still
All right,
have
Jesse, get in the chat.
we
Get your
still
name
have
there.
31 in here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, everybody needs to say something in the chat.
I'll bring up Nightbot. So you
You've been working all
guys,
night. This is your chance.
you guys better start typing. And I made mods eligible. So Dano, Jesse, if Chris has no objections to it, I have no objections.
I don't have any objections.
All
I don't
right.
have any objections.
I never object.
And that's right.
Everybody's typing something, and be careful you don't type too much, you guys, because the bot will kick you out if you start typing too much.
I don't have them set up for a bunch of spam and stuff.
It got me the other night.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Well, I
Of
know.
course, I was typing in a bunch of numbers and being.
Well, YouTube live chat will do it default from YouTube.
Right.
They'll make you wait a minute. We have 31 in there and only 22 eligibles. Come on, lurkers. Bob Dip, quit lurking.
Hello, Cricket. Long time no see.
Oh, wow, Cricket. Hey, girl, how's Colorado treating you? How's the little one? I hope you better took that boy down to the river and use that gold panning kit I sent you. Metal Sharks in the house. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank
Hello,
you,
Metal
Yukon.
Sharks.
We think so.
Shark Texas.
We think Chris is a totally awesome guest. Way beyond great guest.
David's not here.
Not here, man. I thought that
Dave's
was
not
I
here.
thought that was Dave. I was gonna say Dano.
Dave's not here.
All right, we have 26 eligible out of 34. Come on.
Am I eligible yet? I've typed stuff.
Let me see. I see Dano. Oh, look at that. Jesse Mundez. Yes, you are, Jesse.
All right.
We
Not that
have
I'm gonna win anything.
we have
I
20.
did type, he says.
Okay, I'll let it roll for another minute.
She's been mining Minecraft.
Oh, sure, make us have to type some more in there. GZP.
Oh,
Well, you
type again, Jess. Okay.
you don't want to type excessively though,
Right.
because Nightbot has a mind of its own sometimes. But I'll just give it. I'll just give it a
and now they're all
minute.
picking on me.
You have a minute left before. Okay, you'll hear the buzzer, I think, when it goes off.
Oh,
Brian's back to numbers.
Brian, we stopped playing that game a long time ago.
he just doesn't want to win nothing.
Hey, Placer Chaser, we'll be seeing you this weekend. For all those of you in the Midwest, do not miss Gold Rush Days at the GPAA Swank West property.
I'm ready.
I'm ready too. I'm leaving either early Thursday morning or Wednesday night, and I'll be there until Monday. Just look for the flash in your pan banner.
Christopher, you just played. You absolutely just played. You entered yourself into this contest.
That's right. Just chat, Christopher. You're even eligible right there. See ya? I'm hovering over your name right there. Oh, there it is. Time's up.
You lose, I win.
All right.
No.
One for the money. Two for a show. Three to get ready, and let's see who won the book. Oh, that guy. He's one lucky guy.
Who's that?
Our friend HD Shovelhead.
What's up with that?
Press.
Go ahead. You the man, buddy. You the man.
Good job, brother. Good job.
Nice job,
Borrow that book.
Yeah.
Oh, you told us. Who cares?
Whatever.
Jeez.
Congratulations, Ed.
He was at our outing. We put on our first outing, Chris.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
HD Shovelhead was there. Him and his wife came up from Tennessee. My friend over at Green Mountain Gold Trap donated a fluid bed classifier as it's patented, but it's a fluid bed sluice. It's awesome. It has a removable trap, so you don't have to reset up the fluid bed box each and every time. You just pull out the drawer. I love it. It's also clear, so you could see how it's working from any angle.
yeah, I have my sights on it, and he won that too.
Yeah, he bought $20 worth of tickets, or if that.
I did. I bought $20.
Yeah, you bought
Right.
20. I was more. I wanted the Miller table, but but Ed won that too.
You know, I think our buddy, the other Ed, has surpassed Thomas.
Oh, maybe.
Oh, so he's starting
Maybe.
a prospecting rental equipment company now too.
Yeah.
He just very well might be.
Jeez and Pete.
I do have HD Shovelhead's address
Okay.
already. I'll get it to you, Chris.
Okay, and a name to put, because I'm gonna assign it to the guy.
Yeah, I'll give it. His name's Ed.
Okay.
Eduardo. Um, but
Just send it to me and I'll put one up and send it special delivery to him.
All right.
excellent, excellent.
Congratulations, Ed.
Ed says,
The other
thanks,
Ed.
Chris. Congratulations, Ed, and welcome back, Chris, from B3 Relic Recovery. You missed it, dude. You just missed it.
And you probably would have been the winner too if you had been here.
Is the book in Barnes and Noble?
No, but it's on Amazon. Although Amazon is temporarily out of stock for a couple of days, but you can order it on Amazon and they'll get it within a day or two.
Yeah, there's a link in the description below. I believe it's below his channel URL.
Right. So if you go look at that that silver video and you go to look to the description down below, there's a link to the book in that. I don't know if Barnes and Noble has it anymore. At one time, Barnes and Noble had it like physically in their stores. I have pictures of me standing in the store. Hey, look at my book, you know. And but you know, the Barnes and Noble doesn't sell as many books as they used to.
No, not with
Not as
like
many books on the
Amazon
shelf.
and other stuff going on. Now, shoot. But I do have a link to the book in the description in this video right here. So if they wanted to go to it, they could click on that one. Sorry, Chris, it's an affiliate link. So.
No.
But hey,
No, even if you sell one, I still make money.
that's right. So if you buy through my link, you're helping both of us right there.
We got a question from Jared Wheeler. Is it available on audiobook?
No, it's not.
It
really is only available in print format.
And it's really nicely illustrated too.
Yeah.
There's even
Josh.
a nice section on mining districts towards the back of Alaska and Arizona, California, Colorado, Idaho, Montana, New Mexico, Nevada, Oregon, Washington, Utah. Aha! Utah!
What?
we just have to give our buddy Duran a hard time. Chris. Little on North Carolina and Queensland.
Yep.
Over for our friends in the land down under.
Down under.
Yeah.
I spent 6 weeks prospecting in Western Australia 6 years ago.
Brian wants to know.
Breaking up, Jesse. Brian wants to know what?
When the movie's coming out.
Oh. Never know, Brian. Never know. Chris just may make a movie, huh?
I've done some stuff for the History Channel.
There you go.
Oh yeah, like what?
They had a show. They used to have a show called "How the Earth Was Made," and they did an episode on gold. Really? And so they got several experts together and talked to different people, and I was one of them.
And that was on the History Channel, right?
Yeah, it was on the History Channel. And in fact, you can see most of the sections that I was on if you go on YouTube, and I think the query is like how to find gold in the mother lode. If you end up with something, that'll be it. And it's like a segment out of the show that's mostly the segments that I did.
Oh, some of the channels have seen it.
Yeah, I didn't make that. That's not mine. They just cut me out of the show.
Yeah, they've seen the shows, a couple in here.
And I did one time for a channel called G4. It was supposed to be a channel for young men, right? And it was supposed to have cool stuff, and they had this one thing where they wanted somebody who had expertise on mining. And so they got me to do it, and I sat and interviewed with them. And one of the things we talked about was all the people that get killed in the Chinese coal mines. And so I said, oh yeah, thousands of people get killed every year in the Chinese coal mines. And the producer said, can you say that with more enthusiasm? Okay. Thousands of people get killed in every year in the Chinese coal mines. And then the guy said, no, more enthusiasm. And finally it was like, thousands of people get killed every year in the Chinese coal mines. And the guy said, okay, that'll do. And when they put it in the show, it sounds like I'm almost like excited. Oh boy, thousands of people get killed.
We just put the link up for that clip.
What a guy.
In the chat room. So he found the clip.
There you go.
My brother said he watched that show. And so did Brian, American Gold Prospector. Right on, right on.
I was on a show too and I can't remember the name of it. I can't remember the name of the show. It was like a quiz show, and the show was called, the episode anyway, was called "How the West Was Won," and they got me and my son on a quiz show against two real estate developers, a husband and wife, and we were supposed to be the miners and they were supposed to be the developers, right? And so we skunked them. It was fun, and that was also on the History Channel.
I have to go back and look through them.
Definitely.
You said it was on YouTube. Probably could be on Amazon too.
What are you looking for?
Your shows on the History Channel.
The only one I know that you can still find on YouTube, because the networks have their own copyright stuff. You can't just like copyright a network TV show and put it on YouTube,
Right.
because you'll not only will they remove it, but you'll get a strike against you. You do that a couple of times, and then your YouTube channel will get yanked.
Yeah, 3 strikes, you're out.
Yeah, so I didn't have anything to do with that other one where they basically recorded that how the Earth was made and then edited a section of it. And I guess the section they liked was the section that I was in. And so then some guy put it up on YouTube. But I know it's been there for years, but I didn't have anything to do with it. It's got like 750,000 views over the years, but
yeah, it's sitting at 699,000.
600. Okay, so a lot of views.
Yeah, definitely a lot of views.
Now,
there you are.
Yeah.
Jesse's watching it right now.
Yeah,
I really am there.
Yeah, pull out a nice nugget.
Oh yeah, there's a segment in there where they had me pan down just some stream sand, and of course there's no gold in that surface sand. And then they had me pan down some dredge concentrates, because dredging was still legal, and I did some dredging, and they cut from one to the other without any explanation. So you see panning down this sand that doesn't have not going to have any gold in it, that, and then suddenly I've got all this black sand with gold all through it. People have contacted me and said, oh, that's fake, and it's like, it's not really fake, it's just misleading.
It's produced.
It's misleading production on the editing.
Right, like you had anything to do with the editing in those. It's not.
When I filmed that thing, they literally, I started with them at 8 a.m. and filmed it and I think the last stuff, it was getting dark, and it was like after 8 o'clock at night when they finally said, okay, we're done for the day. And so I probably had 3 hours of video that they filmed, and it got edited down to like 10 minutes.
That's Kind of like
the magical world
Yeah,
of editing.
it's how they do it.
it sounds like
Yep.
some of the things Jeff Williams was talking about with him on Ancient Aliens
Right.
and stuff.
Right. Hey, Ron. Buddy Ron for the Hills is in the house.
Yeah, my voice is still out of whack. I was practicing my Ron for the Hills, but it ain't coming out as good as it used to.
It still needs to come out.
Yeah. I just did it. What do you mean? It must have went with my long hair, I guess. I don't know. Silver making new highs up to 1832. Mr. Wheeler's our market man. If you want to know what the market's doing in Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, he would be a good guy to talk to about that. I hear someone counting change or something.
Oh, I'm playing with my coins. Hello, Rob McGuire. Just popped in the room.
Yeah. And wonder if Rob's coming to Gold Rush Days.
I don't know.
Any other questions for our guests in the house tonight? Oh, I better not do that. Jeez, I might get copyright.
They might give you a strike.
They might.
Oh, Ron, I feel your pain, buddy. Oh, I do.
Well,
my plan.
Anybody that wants to find me, you can find me at the Prospecting and Mining Journal, ICMJ, or I got a website. I've got the YouTube channel, and of course the book. So
And
I'm out there if anybody wants to go looking for me. And the people that have my book, my email's in the back of the book. The last page of the book has my email there. And if you have any questions or need some information, let me know, and I'll do my best to try and help you.
And
What?
oh, I guess they don't have your email address. They have California info at International California Mining Journal.com, ICMJ, but
Okay, well, it's just
I think it's at the end of all your
into
articles.
one email account.
Right.
The direct is Chris Ralph 218@gmail.com. So Chris Ralph 218@gmail.com.
There you go. And I know on his channel, you could see he has, I guess you don't have links up in your right corner.
No, it's something I got to work on. I got to do stuff like that kind of stuff.
Okay. But if you go to his About page, you can view his email address right there. Just verify you're not a bot, and voila, there it is.
Yeah.
I'll even copy it and paste it and put it in our chat room for everybody. And boom, look at that. 2,660 in 30 days. I think that's so awesome, Chris. You've blown up since, geez, the last time you were on, just like a rocket.
Yeah, well, it's all that one video. I mean, and then the related traffic that video brought in.
Right.
So.
Hey, Chris, do you have any plans with Joey Wilson? My brother's asking that. We were kind of talking about that earlier before the show, Jim.
The last time I talked to him, he was gonna do something this year, but then I haven't heard from him. You know, he's got a wife and kids and a lot of stuff going on. So
You mean life going on around you?
yeah, so we talked about it and doing some stuff, and it was kind of like, yeah, that sounds good, and it never materialized.
Well, you never know. Here in the future, I know
Yep.
you're busy. I know Joey's busy.
Yep. No, I like Joy, and I'd be happy to work with him again, and I'm sure we will one of these days.
And like I was telling you guys, when we get out there, I want to go up. When we're visiting my brother, we gotta go up and take a look at Joey's shop.
Yeah. When we were talking about that earlier, you guys mentioned Mineral Bar, which is up from Sacramento.
Right.
I got a great story about that Mineral Bar.
Let's hear
one
it.
time, my wife's sister came up with her family, her husband and a couple of kids, and her boy was, I don't know, 14, 15, something like that. And I told them, hey, we're going to go to this area. We're going to go swimming in the river, and there's blackberries that grow around there. If you're there at the right time of year, you can pick a bucket full of blackberries. And I said, we're going to go pick some blackberries, and we'll go pan for gold, and you guys can go swimming. And he just was all skeptical that, you know, I could find gold there. And he's like, no, really, there's some gold there. And he said, yeah, so what? And so when we got there, I said, look, I'm going to show you. So we walked right down from the road edge, right down to some bedrock along the river. And I took a couple of hand tools and scraped out, you know, a pan full of gravel out of a crevice there in the bedrock. And so he watched, and I showed him how to pan it. And when we got down, there was like a 6-grain nugget, which is like, you know, the size of your fingernail, your pinky fingernail, and
Nice,
sort of thin.
nice.
But his eyes got like, oh, it was unbelievable. Yeah, after that, it's like, oh, I want to go prospecting with you.
He got
You
bit.
ruined them.
Yeah, he got bit by the fever, and
You
it just
ruined them.
that fast.
Yeah. Oh, and that's funny too, because that's exactly how fast it happens. And it don't, and age has nothing to do with it. You know, it don't matter
No,
how.
but you know, he was a young teenager and skeptical. It's like, nah, you know,
Right.
Uncle Chris is full of baloney.
Until they see that first piece of wild
Until
gold.
they see the gold, yeah.
Right. I know. I tell people there's gold here in Ohio, and yeah, okay, whatever. You know.
Yeah, and we say, okay, no problem. It leaves it for us.
No problem.
Like, well, B3 Relic Recovery, he's from Ohio too, Chris. He was saying, just so you brought that up, he goes, my wife asked if there is gold in Ohio. I told her, yeah, but if you ask a prospector, there is no gold anywhere. Oh my goodness.
Nope, no gold anywhere. It's all in my bank.
Well, Ed,
Yes,
I haven't
sir.
had any dinner, and so
Nope.
are we pulling it to the end here? Is this
Yeah, pretty much.
Yep.
pretty much wrapping her up?
I think
Yes,
we can
sir.
wrap it up at this point.
Okay. Well, I
Uh,
wanted to say thank you to you guys. I've really enjoyed visiting with you again. I hope maybe in, you know, 3-4 months or whatever, 5 months, whatever works for you, we'll try it again.
We'll try it
Well,
again, get through another show.
you were breaking up there pretty good, Jesse.
Well, yeah. Well, almost get through another show.
Like before, Chris, it's been a pleasure. We really enjoyed having you on. It's an honor having you on, actually.
Cool, thank you.
I've been reading your articles and watching your videos with Joey and some of the other stuff you've been on for years, and I've learned a lot from you, and I hope our audience has enjoyed you being with us. And hey, you're welcome anytime, my friend.
Yeah, you want to come hang out anytime, even if we have another guest, you know, come hang out.
Right in.
Well,
Yeah.
send me another text in a month or two and we'll schedule up a date and figure something out.
All right.
Sounds good to me. We get something to eat, my friend, and thanks again for being on. We really
Okay.
appreciate it, and I really appreciate you giving away a book. I'll get Ed's phone address out to you, and we'll.
I hope I'll say one last thing. I hope I hear from some of the Midwest and Eastern prospectors that I have been trying to, say, hey, contact me if you're willing to do an article, interested in doing an article about your experiences prospecting in the Midwest or the East Coast.
Oh, and
we're
I'm sure there's some out there that have been wanting to write something about their experiences, but just don't know how to go about it.
Well,
yeah, but
Don't
that's
know who
what
to
I'm here for.
contact. Don't know how to
PC
get a
Here to
hold of
help.
anybody.
PC
So there you go,
Prospector. He's from VA. He's also a geologist, Chris, and I think you're going to be hearing from that man.
Okay,
So,
that sounds great.
all right, everybody, thank you
Yep,
very
he's
much
a
for
nice
joining
guy.
us.
We met him at our event.
Yeah, he
Very
came
awesome.
to our first outing we hosted with our friend at East Coast Prospecting. He's a really good guy, and his dad's awesome. Took me up in his airplane. He's now I love him like a brother. I have a thing for flying, Chris. I love flying. So he made my week, my year. So, but I hope you hear from some East Coast prospectors about some articles for International California Mining Journal, since it, after all, is international. Um, and everybody, Jaron, if you would get, thank you for putting Chris's channel link up there. But if you would get Jim's channel, Video Call-In Show, link in the chat, we could do a flash raid at 10 o'clock. Chris, anytime, you're always welcome in our house, my friend. And thanks again for joining us. Everybody out there, it's you out there is why I make my friends put up with me every week to bring you this show.
Yeah.
And so,
yes, we do.
yes, they do put up with me. So I hope I see you next week. If you're at Gold Rush Days, look for the Flash in Your Pan banner of some sort.
We should all be huddled up together who's camping.
That's right. So may you always have a flash in your pan.
You know what he's going to say next.
That's right, because it happens. Ask Chris. Maybe one day, too, we'll meet you on the river. Good night, everybody. Thanks for joining us.
Good night, everybody. Oh, Indiana Tones got here just as we were closing out. Sorry.
That happens.
Join us at 8 o'clock next Tuesday.
We'll be having Mr. Tim for Gold with us.
Yep.
5, 4, 3.
Okay, well, I'm going to sign off and go have some dinner and then get going.
All right. Thank you, Chris.
Enjoy your dinner.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Talk to you later.
Take it easy, Chris.
All right. Talk to you later.
Says now I got to figure out how to get out of here. Oh, he didn't.
He got out. Keep swinging. You will. Are we still on?
Yep. Come on, guys.
Beat, that's all, folks. Why, I oughta. Oh no, Mr. Boo.
Oh, what am I gonna do with you kids?
Oh, no.